Voting has closed in Germany, where millions of voters are electing the country's parliament and new chancellor. The winner will replace current Chancellor Angela Merkel, who's stepping down after 16 years as leader of Europe's largest economy. Exit polls show that the race is too close to call between Merkel's center-right Union bloc and the center-left Social Democrats. No party is expected to win an outright majority. CBS News foreign correspondent Chris Livesay joins me now from Berlin. It looks beautiful there, Chris. Tell us, when do we expect to know the results and a potential winner?
Well, thanks, Lana. There is no telling when these results are going to come in. It could take 2, 3, 4, even 6 months. That's how long it took the last time there was a national election. And the reason is, this is a parliamentary system. There is no direct vote for the chancellor like there is in the United States, where you get to vote for a president and find out pretty quickly who that person is going to be. What happens is the parties are elected, and then the parties vote in parliament for their choice of chancellor. But because there's no clear majority, you've got both the biggest parties in the country, the center-left and the center-right, each coming away with more or less the same number of votes. Well, now there's going to be a lot of political horse trading over the next several months.
So it's interesting how the parliamentary system works so differently from the U.S. democracy. Chris, you're on the ground. Tell us, what issues were important to voters during this election?
Well, more than ever before, climate change this year. And that's because earlier this summer, Germany was inundated, literally, with flooding that killed approximately 200 to 300 people. And when you look at the footage and you see these torrential rains, taking away not just bridges and streets, but homes, even entire towns, just completely washed away. You almost think that you're looking at, the footage of a beleaguered country in the developing world that doesn't have the infrastructure to deal with these kinds of things. Not the most, economically powerful and developed country in Europe, and one of the most, wealthiest and powerful countries in the world. So Germans in Northern Europe are feeling the effects of climate change, as many scientists saw it following these flooding first hand in a way that they had never seen it before. So while Germany has been rather progressive compared to most of the world when it comes to, getting off of fossil fuels and investing in renewable energy, many more Germans this year are saying they expect the next government to take even further steps when it comes to embracing renewable energy and combating climate change.
Interesting that it would be the primary issue on voters' minds there. What about the pandemic and the economy, other things that are usually top of the ticket issues in U.S. elections?
Well, the economy is definitely a big one here. Even looking at the flooding, for instance, just to go back to those images, I mentioned the infrastructure. This is an extremely advanced economy that is renowned for having, trains and dams and roads that are amongst the best in the world. And we saw them literally collapse right before our eyes when those torrential floods came during this summer. So while that is absolutely an issue of climate change on the minds of German voters, it's definitely also one that comes to the economy, because they're thinking about how to invest their tax dollars in not just combating climate change, but investing in infrastructure that's capable of standing up to these kinds of unnatural disasters, or rather unnatural amounts of rainfall and torrential flooding that they haven't experienced in the past.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.